Whenever you come across this reading, somebody is very wrong about you, where somebody is trying to figure you out so hard to the point that they're just wrong about you. Now, I will also share this fortune cookie that was stuck to my hand as I was turning on the camera. It says, you have the qualities of a good leader. So that could mean something to you. There's also the numbers 14, 11, 32, 50, 12, and 28, the lucky numbers. But here's the thing here. Now, sometimes when you're trying to figure out somebody a little bit too much, a little bit too hard, or you're overstepping somebody's energetic and natural boundaries, people start to get confused. And then they're just not right. Where we do have confusion, unsure, unclear, uncertain, and then call. Hearing from conversations, talking, unblocking. This could be someone who's not sure if they should reach out to you, if they should unblock you, or speak to you in some way, shape, or form. But here's the thing. From the outside looking in, this person thinks that you date multiple people. Now, I will say it's a little bit of Cleopatra vibes here, but it could also be King Solomon, where we do have divine feminine. You could be a woman. It could also just be your divine feminine energy. So just take what resonates with you. Divine feminine is non-gender specific. We also have dating multiple people, conflict, clashing differences, incompatible, and having fun, clubbing, risky, fun with friends. There's somebody here who thinks that you like to get around town. Okay, they really think you like to get around town. They think that you like to have risky fun. And they're not sure if they want to reach out to you because this is how they perceive you. So we're going to dive deeper into this. Now, whenever you're watching this, it can be for you. The reading is general and timeless. And if you would like a personal tarot reading, a private one-on-one session with me, Akashic Records, or anything else, check out that box below. It does have everything that you will need. Now, for the collective here, why do we have divine feminine, dating multiple people, differences, risky? Why do we have divine feminine, dating multiple people, differences, and risky? It's a reflection of themselves, illusion. Now we do have Hades here. Hades can resonate with you. The Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, and true prosperity. My other channel, I was talking about King Solomon. So King Solomon, even Cleopatra, can definitely, I almost said recognize. Maybe they recognize you, can resonate with you. Now, this is somebody else's conflict. Because it does say conflict. And then we have inner conflict. Is this somebody's inner conflict? We have confusion here. This could be someone who, say, for example, they want to reach out to you, but they have a fear of being betrayed, maybe in love and romance. Maybe this is somebody who, I'm just going to say it, maybe this is someone who, and I don't want to say judges in a bad way, but this is somebody who, they silently judge people who date multiple people, who have fun, who are like open and free spirit, things like that. This is somebody who, they don't like that kind of stuff. It says clashing differences, incompatible, irreconcilable. But here's the thing. It's not your conflict. This is their conflict. Why do we have material wealth, true prosperity, inner conflict, morality, conscious choice? It's not you. Transformation, intuition, and patience. Now we do have here resurrection. The phoenix rises. Now it's interesting I mentioned Cleopatra and King Solomon, which both male, they're a male and female, right? But they actually both have very similar paths, or lived not similar lives per se, but they had similar successes. They also had similar weaknesses. There is somebody who believes here that Now, I will say this is Pluto energy, right? Which is why I have this here, which represents Pluto. This person and that's the 8th house. So the 8th house is extreme wealth, sexuality, things like that. It's the shadow, it's the occult, it's the ancestors, it's all of those things, the 8th house, scorpionic energy. But here's the thing here. Somebody here feels as if, I don't even want to go near that person. That person has different values than me. You don't. That's not true. This person is looking at the mirror of for some of you go check out your Pluto or your Scorpio placements, go check out where your 8th house is. There is someone who they fear about your power. They may feel as if you're someone, who you get money, you have multiple people, and things like that. And actually that's not true. Resurrection. You're not at the club. You're not being risky. You're not drinking. You're not with multiple people. It does say coffee date, but you're not with multiple people. This person felt as if you have different values and as if they shouldn't be near you. They should not say reconcile with you. They should not speak to you. They should have boundaries with you. That was their own inner conflict of the denial of their own power, their own shadow, which is why it feels like the fortune cookie, you have the qualities of a good leader, comes up here. They felt as if you were a not so great leader, Cleopatra, King Solomon. That's not you. You do not have 300 husbands or wives. You don't even maybe have 2, or maybe, I don't know. But let's see here what we have for this reading. Why do we have confusion and call hearing from? You trigger them. You trigger this person. This person denies their own power or shadow in a particular way. This person may really dislike, say, people who have extreme wealth. I can't stand millionaires and billionaires. I don't want to be around them. This person may feel as if anyone who, say, owns even just their sensuality, which it seems like you're a mirror. You're not doing the things that they think that you're doing. You are not misusing your power. You have the qualities of a good leader. You're not doing any of those things. Now, for some of you, you actually trigger their trauma or their inner child wounds. And so when they see you, they see the club. When they see you, and I will say, maybe you have like a Lilith energy. Maybe you are someone who has prominent 8th house placements. You might be a wild child, a wild card. You're someone who's open, but you're not doing these things. Jesus sat with sinners. He wasn't sinning. And I think that's the key thing here. You make conscious choices. And so it's their own inner conflict. You might be someone, though, who you don't shy away from the shadow. Your shadow is very integrated. I own my sensuality. I do not misuse it or abuse it. Say you're someone who has some level of wealth. You do not hoard. You are not greedy, etc. It's true prosperity. But I will say, you really trigger this person because you kind of are dressed up as everything that they don't like or deny. But it's interesting here because you're not any of those things. We do have change delays. Why do we have distracted change and delays here? There might be an unexpected change. Why do we have unexpected change? This person may move forward towards you. Okay, now it does say divine masculine here. Look at the way that my hair tie just kind of crawled up. It might be like that. We do have expecting, faith, and manifesting. Resistance. This person has resisted you because they were triggered by you. This person was on the fence. They're like, oh, I don't know about that person. But you're actually none of those things. It says secret admirer, suppressing and timid. Didn't fall face up, but we do have adrenaline here, okay? Now, why do we have triggers, confusion, and phone call? Why triggers, confusion? Are they your twin flame? It says showing proof, finding the truth. I love you. It says a magnifying glass, showing proof, validation, confirmation, finding the truth. Are they your twin flame? Mary Magdalene was everything Jesus was not supposed to be next to, and that was his twin flame. 1010 as I say that. You could be seeing the number 1010 or 111. But if I mentioned Jesus, which Hades is in the Bible too, Mary Magdalene was the opposite of Jesus. She was not a clean and tidy gal. His own disciples constantly were like, why are you near her? This woman should not be near you. Now, I will say this is like a final closure here. It says, farewell, leaving behind closure. It feels like this person is too triggered by you. So not the timeline back then. 144 as I say that. Maybe there's a little bit of hope. But not the timeline back then where Jesus was able to kill his ego and just, and Mary Magdalene, they killed each other's egos. But both of them understood that. Now, this could be either a twin flame or you mirror each other's emotions. Where this person could be like, oh, I can't stand when that person, I can't stand how that person presents themselves. The amount of shadow that you really embody. You're someone who, you embody the shadow. You're a shadow worker. This person is very much of like love and light, and you guys are very opposite. There is a resurrection here. So let's see what this is. Now, what do we have for the collective here? What do we have for the collective on divine feminine energy, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends? Why the Wheel of Fortune? Why the Wheel of Fortune for divine feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends? Why the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun card for divine feminine energy, dating multiple people? You're not up to anything. The secret is that there's no secret. That's the secret. There is no secret. But for people who haven't done, and let me not word it that way. How should I word this? There's no secret here, but I will say this person's paranoid. And that's what it is. I remember when I first made this channel, and I first started it off with, if you found my secret channel. Now, I didn't tell anybody about this channel, but was it a secret? Absolutely not. I'm not hiding it. And was there ever a secret? No, not at all. But I'll tell you, when my first few videos, the comments were like, oh my gosh, why would you keep a secret? But you see how you could just say that, right? And there's no secret. Where you're not hiding any secrets. You're actually very open. There's a quote that says, when somebody really embodies the shadow, you should trust them. But you should trust them because they're putting it out there in the open. They're not putting on a smile to make you feel as if they're safe in love and light. It's out there in the open. And that's trustworthy. When it comes to, like, say, a deity, a goddess like Lilith, Eve had to like this. Lilith just puts it out there, and it could completely repel you. It could completely resonate with you. But there's nothing hiding about Lilith. Nothing. And that's the truth, right? That's a beautiful thing. Now, in this reading so far, there's nothing hiding about you. This is completely innocent, pure, wealth, prosperity, joy, success, love, and that's it. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What do we have for the collective here on confusion? Confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers. Why do we have confusion? Conversation incoming and triggers. Why the Knight of Pentacles for confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers? This person felt as if you were being sneaky and lying. Why do we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords for confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers? They might make you an offer. Ace of Pentacles here. Why the Knight of Pentacles for confusion, conversation incoming, triggers? Why the Seven of Swords for confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers? Why the Ace of Pentacles for confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers? Now, we do have Four of Swords in reverse, and it says looking for spiritual strength, awakening, rejoining the world. Why the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords in reverse? For confusion, triggers, conversation incoming. Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio here. Why the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles? For confusion, conversation incoming. Why do we have confusion, conversation incoming, and triggers for Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles here? Somebody walked away from you in the past. You may have been going through something in your life, 555 as I say that, which was temporary, but they walked away. It started off as teamwork and collaboration. They ended up walking away here. Why the Seven of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups? For triggers, confusion, conversation incoming. The Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. And we do have the Seven of Wands here. You are protected. You were never lying. We do have Ten of Cups, marriage here. You were never lying. And you are protected. You may have been going through something where somebody got a little bit, though, confused and walked away from you. And then your money, wealth, and prosperity increased. So they were very much wrong about you. Why do we have the Four of Swords in reverse? For triggers, confusion, conversation incoming. Why do we have triggers, confusion, conversation? It could be an Aries, Leo, Sag that's coming in. We do have fire signs, earth signs, and water signs in this reading. Why the Four of Swords in reverse with the King of Wands? For triggers, confusion, conversation incoming. No, this is you here. They were wrong about you. It says mature, emotional man or woman. You're also in your power. You have a Ten of Pentacles here. Now you were going through something where somebody got like confused by the shadow. You went through some sort of temporary negative change. And they left you out here. Like they kind of discarded you. They left you for dead. Now for some of you, somebody felt as if you had bad energy. There's no vibration that's bad. You know, we're speaking of shadow work here. There is someone here who, they may actually have more of a thing with the shadow. Whenever they see the shadow, they're like, oh God, I gotta run. You know, if it's like a extreme wealth and dating multiple people and negative changes, this person denies the shadow. It has nothing to do with you. This is somebody who is very much in duality, and I will say they run from the shadow. If it's a twin flame connection on a romantic level, this is somebody who runs from any shadow reflection from you. But at the end of the day, this is somebody who, it's not you, it's the shadow. Because if it wasn't you, it'd be anything else in their life or anyone else. This person runs from the shadow. But it's interesting here, like even if it had to do with, say, adversity and struggles, it says financial loss. But it seems like this person also has a thing of extreme wealth, say, too. This person denies the shadow. You have the qualities of a good leader, where this person was wrong about you. You can hold Ashe, Cleopatra, and King Solomon. Now, those two were karmic, where if anybody was them in a past life, it's going to be higher in this lifetime for sure. You know, that was not, both Cleopatra and King Solomon, they were not the highest timeline, but they're very well known and were successful, I guess you could say. The qualities of a good leader is not if they don't hold shadow or not. That is a dogmatic perspective. A very duality, dogmatic perspective of, I'm a good leader because I am pure, and I wear all white, and I am love and light, and I never show the shadow. I've never had, no. And I think that's why this came out, You have the qualities of a good leader. You might embody the shadow, and your shadow is very much integrated in your whole, but you're not in the shadow. You know how to, and what I'm seeing is like a string. You know, like the people who walk on string? You're like that when it comes to the shadow, but you're not going to fall on either side. You're pretty much, you're balanced with your light and your shadow. But with someone like you, and I mean, Cleopatra and King Solomon are pretty good examples, they also didn't fear the shadow. You're someone who you're like, well, in order for me, say, to be in leadership, to be in power, whatever it may be, just the leader of your life. For some of you, maybe you have a business, maybe you're CEO, maybe you're known online, whatever it may be. Having an integrated shadow is not equivalent to not being a good person. Again, there's the quote of like, well, you should maybe trust that person more. They're not hiding anything, right? And that's kind of what I see in this reading here. You don't fear the material world. You'll merge with it, but you're not in excess. You're not in greed. Even when it comes to, like, for some of you, alcohol, there's alcohol here, sensuality, risky. You're not doing anything in excess. You may not even be doing what they think that you're doing, kind of thing. For the collective, on Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends. Why the Wheel of Fortune here? Why the Sun card for Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends? Why the Queen of Pentacles for Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends? And why Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here? You have collaboration coming in. There is an offer that's coming in, just confirmation that somebody is not confused anymore, okay? Their third eye is open, and they may contact you for some sort of collaboration and teamwork here. Teamwork makes the dream work. You're good here. You definitely might be someone. It's the kind of thing where you're dressed in all black and you're wearing skulls over here and you're like looking like a biker and this and that, and you got spikes, and you are the holiest person in that room. You are the most trustworthy person in that room. But because of your appearance or because of what you own, because, you're just raw and authentic, at the end of the day, you do trigger people or this person in the past. But I will say you're going to be very successful in your life. We have resurrection here. Very successful. Now, the Queen of Wands says sexy, chaotic, enthusiastic, you're someone that you own your humanness. And there are some people who put on a love and light performance, and then when they're not in front of people, when they're not in front of their business, when they're not online, they start, then they show the shadow. You're somebody, though, where it's like, nope, this is who I am. You're integrated, you're whole. There's nothing hiding, actually, about you. And that's what makes you a good leader. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess card over here. The wheel is turning for you. Now, it says honest, truthful, the Sun card. You are open. It's from a very innocent place. And I will say the key thing is here, you're not doing what they think you're doing. So you're someone that you'll own, your sensuality, maybe you'll wear what you want, whatever way that looks like, right? You're just someone who you do what you want. But it's more of just like, I know what I want kind of thing. It's not in a impure way, because you're actually showing up as someone who is very pure. Why the Queen of Swords and the Sun card here? You're turning your back to the noise because you're not who they think and say that you are. You're not. You're getting a reward for hard work. For some of you, you have travel coming up, okay? There's a travel opportunity where somebody's going to invite you to an opportunity. Yeah, an opportunity rather. I know it's 3 times, but and it could be 3 people. There's multiple people in this reading. You might be traveling soon. There's a reward for your hard work, and I will say you're actually a good leader here. But you do own your shadow, and with that, it's you knowing that you're a good leader, and you will trigger people who deny the shadow in themselves. Say you're someone where it's like, actually, I've been celibate for however long, right? Years, whatever it may be. But you're someone that you own your sensuality in some way, shape, or form. You express it, you're dancing, whatever it may be. You like to have fun, but it's more of a playground. Life is a playground. Let's have fun. Why so serious? And you trigger people that feel as if they have to be like this. In order for me to be a good leader, in order for me to be holy, in order for you to trust me, I must prove it. You are actually someone that you're not. It says, I say ashe on there. I say ashe. So that could resonate with you. Maybe you say ashe. But you're someone where it's like, God is my judge, and go ask God about me. Like, that's who you are. That's like your personality. Go ask God about me, because I'm not trying to put on any performance. I'm just doing how I'm led, etc. But you are someone where when it's really like, go ask God if there's an issue, because you really are not doing what they say that you're doing. You're not who they think you are. For the collective here, why do we have the Wheel of Fortune and the High Priestess? I will say it, like this reading is saying of delays. The High Priestess is truth, trust. It does say needing patience. You're someone that you kind of speak quickly, where even you don't realize how your words can sometimes trigger people, and you don't mean to. It's innocent. It really is innocent. We have the Sun card, 3 of Wands, the Queen of Swords. You are a shot of whiskey. You're a shot of ayahuasca. And I will say you're for some of you, you're quick with your mouth. But to the point where people are like, oh my God, why would they? Like, you shock people. Okay, again, you are a cup of ayahuasca, a cup of whiskey, whichever one you resonate with. And like a cup. And they're like, oh my God, I've never heard someone speak like that. You're very raw, but the thing is here, you actually are honest and trustworthy. And you're not going to be for everyone, but I will say you're actually more trustworthy because of that. You're not hiding anything. You're actually never putting on a performance. Why the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and the Page of Swords? You are the Empress, baby. 6 of Wands, victory and success. The Empress, like you, I will say you are exactly who you say you are and who you think you are. And they are not right about you. And it does say sensuality here, so confirmation. But you will not bow down. Like you will, I will say you're like a Lilith. Lilith never bowed down to Eve, to Eve too. And then Eve and Adam got together on Lilith kind of thing. I'm just like, you guys didn't have to do that. You are a Lilith, okay? You do not, and Lilith, the archetype, what does that represent? Someone who does not bow down when it comes to their sacred truth. That was Lilith, where she's like, nope, I'm holy, but I'm definitely not going to take the projection. I'm not going to take the lies. I am who I am. I know my intentions. And Lilith is very raw, like she's the parts of the subconscious, the unconscious, the 8th house that people really deny. But I will say you are a reflection of what most people deny in the 8th house perspective. So it's beyond, even money, it's sensuality, it's this, it's that. So the 8th house, Pluto, scorpionic energy. You do have beautiful intentions. You're a beautiful soul. You can be a woman because it's a very much divine feminine energy, but you could also be a male in their divine feminine energy. It's non-gender specific. You're just raw. You're someone who you kind of tell it like it is. Maybe there's a way that you could kind of like slow down and it says you have a very quick mind. Think before you speak. Okay. You are someone that maybe that's a lesson for you of like, I do speak kind of quickly and I do kind of just like say it. But I will say you're going to be very successful in life is what this is showing. Now, what is the advice for the collective on Divine Feminine? Dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends, risky. You're going to be very successful in life. We have the Hangman over here. There's a shift in perspective, perhaps from you or even from other people when it comes to you. You are a good leader. You have the qualities of a good leader. Look at that. Confirmation, recognition that you do have the qualities of a good leader, but it's not what they think leadership is, right? Like we've been so programmed that we must talk like this, and that's dogma. Dogma is oppression and suppression. I must talk like this, and if I wear all white and if I don't show that whatever, right, that I have a shadow, maybe they'll think that I'm holy. You're someone where it's like, well, I'm in my truth and take it with God because whatever, Now, I will say, moving forward, advice, you have independent wealth here. Like you are a Lilith, okay? Non-gender specific. It says independence. You are definitely someone that people do have a hard time controlling. For people who want to control, you really are just a mirror when it comes to their triggers. But I will say you're moving forward because, yes, you have this independence to you, which is everything that the archetype of Lilith represents, but it's not in an unruly way. You're not someone so there's two different versions of Lilith. I remember a high priestess telling me in the past, Lilith is the absolute hardest archetype for anyone to embody. Anyone. It really requires you to be very in mastery and control of your shadow and in your truth. Where there's distorted Lilith, and then there's the divine Lilith. When it comes to independence, you think of like, say, a teenager, right? That's like, no, I'm independent, get away from me. But it's like, no, you are actually someone who is divinely independent. You are not somebody who's out of balance. You are someone that, people maybe get pissed off at you. They may be triggered by you. They may not like the reflection, but you've got it balanced and you've got it going on. You are not out of balance. You're not in greed. You're not in lust. You're not in any of those things. You know thyself. You could walk into a room like this and none of it's going to touch you. You're not going to touch any of it too. But you could actually step into that room and you could have fun and it's not going to touch you. Six of Waters here. It says progress, moving on. Now there's a lot of travel here. So for some of you, you could have travel coming up. What is the advice here? Now I will say this past life card wants to come out. It says karmic relationship. For some of you, this person who is triggered by you, it's a karmic relationship from a past life. What do we have for advice on Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, fun with friends? It's a gift. It says the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving. It does say withholding, but you may be receiving at this time. And this does say the High Lady or Lord of love and compassion, reverence, kindness, consideration. You definitely are a mirror. For some of you, I think of the mirror of Oshun, which I am not, channeling Oshun in any way. And we do have a sunflower here. I'm not channeling her in any way in this reading, but I just want to reflect upon the mirror, where to some people, they think it's vanity. It's not vanity. It really, it does in some way, shape, and form. We have Ma'at here, so confirmation. It represents hard work, where, you have a lot, but very humble, or maybe you have some sort of success, but you didn't get there without pain, suffering, and without really hard work on yourself. And so you may hold beauty and sensuality and wealth and all of these different things, but it didn't come without a lot of shadow work and integration of the shadow. And that's what this reading is showing here. What is some more advice for Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, risky? There are some hostilities here. There's people get on defense, but they don't have to. But for some of you, love could be coming in. Yeah, people get on defense, but you truly are someone where it's just like, take it up with God. And then I will say that might piss people off more. And again, I mean, your mouth, for some of you, like you're a shot of whiskey, you're a shot of ayahuasca that just, whether it's two very different things, but it will send you to another planet, either one, above or below, whichever one. And people are on defense about you, but they end up feeling silly because you really are an angel of love and you do not have the intentions that they feel that you do. What's a final message? What are some final messages here? Final messages of advice for Divine Feminine, dating multiple people, conflict, and risky. This was, so this came out sideways and I was going to put it back. Apology. It's too late to apologize. For some of you, maybe it's too late to apologize where you kind of went through a lot because of them. But there is somebody who's sorry. Oh man, it says ignore and disregard. Were they not loyal? Loyalty. There is someone who's sorry, but there's also this message here of they left you behind. Why do we have hostilities and angel of love for advice here? Why do we have hostilities and angel of love? I will say they're still conflicted, or people, conflicted. We have risky, conflicted. So they might be in conflict of reaching out to you. Why do we have risky and conflicted for hostilities, angel of love? They have resistance of reaching out to you. I will say you're someone that, you represent taboo. You are the embodiment of what is taboo. But there is somebody here who may move forward towards you. They know that it's a risk, or they feel that way. You trigger them in those ways, but they may want to move forward towards you. It says pursuit, chasing, persistence, and resilience. Okay? So that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day.